Number one, what did you do first, Jacquez? Tatiana? Take the reciprocal of the second fraction. Why? What does D stand for? You have to check for division. And if it's a division problem, then you take the second fraction and you flip it, or you take the reciprocal of it. So the first step you should have done is 5 over n plus 7 times okay. What should you do next, Jacob? What can you factor here? No. You can factor n squared minus 5x plus 6. What are your factors for that?
3 and 2.
You need 3 and 2. Because 3 times 2 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. What should your signs be? Keep in mind, you need a positive 6 here. How are you going to get that? Through negatives multiply together to make a positive. And negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. That works perfectly. Step 1, check for division. If it is a division problem, change it to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Step 2, factor anything that can be factored. What's step 3? Kamari? Okay. Okay, that's the first part of my answer. What's the second part of your answer? What are the restrictions, Jacques?
Negative 7. Positive 3 and positive 3. Negative 2.
That's right. N cannot equal negative 7, positive 3, and positive 2. So if you have two fractions and you multiply or divide them, first you need to check to see if it's division, and if it is, you change it to multiplication and flip the second fraction. After you've done that, you look for anything that can be factored and factor it. Finally, reduce and write the restrictions. Questions on number 1. Number 2. Eric, what would you do first? Okay, which ones do you flip? All 3 of them. I see 4 or 5 different variables. Okay, flip that one. What about this? Why? Anything to the 0 power is just 1. So you can kind of just forget about it. What about this numerator? Yeah, if there's nothing there, then it's not understood. We have to write it. We have to write that. Am I done? I'm done. No, you're not done yet. Yep, we need to combine these x's. So x to the something, y to the 1/2.
25, 112.
37.
25.
3/4 plus 4/3.
Mm-hmm.
25, 112.
Okay. If there's a negative exponent, it must be flipped. In a multiplication problem, you add exponents. In a division problem, you subtract exponents. And in a power of a power problem, you multiply exponents. Take your warm-up, set it aside, and look at today's notes in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do number 1 together. And number 1, well, I'll ask you. What's first in number 1, Steve?
Got each fraction by fraction on the outside parentheses.
Okay, so tell me what to write.
Y. It's gonna be a 1 right there anyway.
Right. So what is 1 times 2/3?
2/3. Right.
2/3?
Yeah, of course. Anything times 1 is itself. Okay, keep going, Steve. I'll tell you when to stop.
And you got multiply 2/3. 3. 2.
Remember, it's easiest to do these in your head.
Like 2 times 3.
Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. How'd you get 1?
2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6.
So 6/6. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And keep going.
You can multiply 2/3 over 5/3, so it's gonna be 10 over 6.
10 over
10 over 9, my bad.
10 over 9. Okay. Stop right there, Steve. And pick it up from there, Carlos.
Can you take the hold on, let me see. I forgot. I forgot. Right, you gotta multiply. I forget.
We're waiting on you, Carlos. Take your notes if you need to.
I forget.
Like I said, check your notes if you need to. What do you do with an exponent that is a power of a power?
Well,
Check.
multiply. Alright, multiply that.
Multiply what by what?
2. 2 and x to the second power.
I think 2 and what?
2 over 3.
If you can't do it in your head, you got a calculator right there.
Multiply.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be 4 over 3.
4 over 3. Good. And what's the last one? Carlos.
Well, I got do another one.
What's the last one?
2 over 3 times y to the 5th over 3 power.
Which will be what?
10 over 6. 10 over 3. 10 over 3.
What's 3 times 3?
9.
Okay, stop right there, Carlos. Carlos, do me a favor. Put your back against the back of your seat. Like this. You know, understand what I'm saying? Further back. Almost. Keep going. There we go. That's good. All right, Lenore, finish it up. I'll give you one hint by writing that, and I'll let you do the rest. Uh-huh. Oh goodness, we spent a whole week doing this.
So I'm about to sleep.
Okay. All X digits. Okay, hold on. Let me do it. Let me calculate, okay?
Of course.
We add them right.
I don't know. You tell me.
No, we multiplying these.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, 4 over 27.
Well, I think you did something wrong.
Hold on. I'm talking to what he gave me.
And around.
10 over 9 plus 1 plus 4. 31.
Over what?
9.
There we go.
Okay.
I thought it was 22.
It's 22 over 9.
That's what I got.
If you said 22, then you forgot about that.
I was about to say, hold on, you want it?
So it's
Oh, wait.
it's not it's
Which one, right?
which one did I write down?
16 over 9.
16.
17.
16.
I did 16.
I don't know if you trying to.
I know this is kind of hard to see, so let me make this a little bit clearer for you. There you go. Don't let those invisible exponents trick you. The only time you multiply exponents is a power of a power. If you see parentheses, you're allowed to multiply exponents. Otherwise, you either add or subtract. Look at number 9. Carlos, please put your back against the back of your seat. Thank you, sir. And what would you do first, Eric? Okay, I would do something else first, but go ahead with that. Run with your thought.
You would do 16, 12, 13.
No, not 1/2.
You got simplify 16 and 12.
You do have to simplify 16 over 12.
430.
Okay. When you flip this, it becomes positive. So you should do 2 plus 3 over 2.
We put the negative in the other calculator.
No. When you flip it, it becomes positive.
He's giving up
7 over 2. What do you do with these R's? That one can... Well, this one.
Subtract them.
Just leave it down there. If that becomes gone, or if that's just 1, then this has nothing to reduce with, so it just stays where it is.
The other one just.
Look, the other one, anything to the 0 power is 1, right? Well, 4p to the 7 over 2 times 1 is still just 4p to the 7/2. That's why sometimes I say, if it says x to the 0, I just say just cross it out. Because it's just 1 times something. Anything else I can reduce here? I can't do 7/2 minus 1/2? They have to have the same variable. Of course. Okay. Ooh, I'm glad I decided to review today. Let's do one more. Take your paper and flip it over. Hard work. Because you know what's coming soon, don't you? Shortly. It is arriving shortly at a theater near you.
You really trying to say this over going I don't know what it is.
Okay. All right, number 14, Yasmin, what would you do first? Multiply what by what? Okay. You can do that in your head. Stop right there, Yasmin. Talisha, what's next? What's up? Why don't you come down into this denominator next? Very simple. Take each of these exponents and multiply them by 3/2. So what is negative 5/4 times 3/2? Over what? Over what? Negative 15 over what? No. 4 times 2? 8. Okay. N to the what? Negative 1 times 3/2. Nobody has time for you to be this slow with this stuff. 3/2 times 2 cubed. Okay, now you've distributed this exponents, everything inside the parentheses. Carlos, sit up. What would you do next, Mike?
See which one you got to flip between.
Okay.
You got to put in negative 15 over 8 to the top, right?
Yep.
So you got to subtract, you know, negative 3 over 8.
Say what now?
That's what we're going
We can just flip these first. Let's just flip first. So you flip that one. What else can you flip? This n, okay. Take out the negative sign into the 3/2. What else can you flip? Okay. Flip that, okay. that everything? No. That one stays down there. Why? Because it's not negative. It's positive. Now, once you have everything positive, now it's time to start to reduce or simplify. I know, it is pretty legit, isn't it? Pretty cool problem. Laura, why don't you do the same thing? Take your back and put it on the back of your seat. When you sit up straight, Lenore, that'll help you out. When you sit up straight, helps you stay focused. I seriously care a lot about y'all's learning, but I can only tell you so many times. There's a problem if I care more than you do.
I have cool, but I don't know every sleep.
Okay, almost done with this one. It's the last one we're doing together. Let's finish it up. Focus through. Finish. Rain, what would you do next?
Hold on, what you just said we finna do the, you just said we finna do.
I don't know. You got to know. No one's going to tell you every step when you do it on the test. Hmm? I don't know.
If I start dividing, it's wrong.
Well, if you're doing it wrong, I'll tell you. I'll say, no. Tell me a step. Tell me something to write. Tell me something to do.
You gotta add them.
What would you add?
15 over 8 and now 4. And now 4.
These two
These
M's, you don't add these, no. Okay. Which one's bigger? 9 over 4 is bigger. If you don't know which one's bigger, you need to use your calculator to convert it to a decimal. So, if 9 over 4 is bigger, what do? M's? No. 9 over 4 minus 15 over 8. It should not be negative. If it's negative, that means you subtracted them in the wrong order. 9 over 4 should go first. Why? Because it's the bigger one. That's why we ask you which one is the bigger one. Now what about these ends? These two, what do we do with these two? Add them. So 3 plus 3 is what? Am I done? All done? No. Well, when you say combine, what do you mean? Okay. What do you get when you subtract those? 9 over 2. Numerator or denominator? Why denominator? Because 6 is bigger. So 6 minus 3 over 2, put it in the denominator. What about this numerator? Yeah, if there's nothing in the numerator, you have to put a 1. All right. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very clearly, you need to practice. I would take this seriously. We are past halfway through the second 9 weeks. In fact, the first semester, from August to Christmas, the first semester only has about 4 weeks left in it until Christmas break. So why do I tell you that? 2 reasons, really. Number one, you should be encouraged to finish strong because you're almost there. But more importantly, perhaps, to remind you and help you to stay focused. Because your grade for the second 9 weeks is going to be very significantly determined by your success on these upcoming assessments, quizzes and exams that are coming up soon on this material. Go ahead and get to work.